Hello, my name is Daniel, and today I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me when I was around 17 or 18 years old. Me and my friend, I just went over to stay at his house for the day, and his father was driving us home. And we were going down the road, and all of a sudden, there's this little baby raccoon beside the road. His mother was hit on the road. I don't know why they were out in the middle of the day. It was rare. If you know anything about raccoons, that's rare. But me and my friend, we hopped out of the vehicle and we chased down this baby raccoon. He was frightened, scared, and we cornered him, and I took him home. And it's illegal, by the way. You cannot take a wild animal off out of the woods and have it as a pet. Okay. I think it just happened. Okay, still recording, my bad. Alright, so I took this little raccoon home. I had him for 3 months. I love this little guy. Called it Bandit. Little rascal. And it would ride around on my shoulder. It went everywhere with me. Yeah, it would. I'd take it to church. I'd go different places with it. And eventually, at the end of 3 months, I got sick and it got sick. And started to stumble around. I got sicker and got sicker. And eventually, my dad got really worried because both of us were acting weird. So he went online and he found out that a raccoon could have rabies up to 6 months, I think, it was something like that, without ever showing any symptoms. And during that time, they can pass it to anyone because it's passed by saliva and other bodily fluids. And raccoons are just like cats in that sense. They clean their fur by licking it. So if I had an open cut any time during that time, or anyone had an open cut during their time and they petted my little raccoon, they could have got rabies. Well, he calls up the what are they called? Rangers, local rangers, forest rangers, and they send out this guy. At this point, I'm extremely sick. I'm having little red dots appear in my vision. My equilibrium is all gone. The world's swirling around me. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And little Bandit, he is horrible looking. I mean, just downright horrible, like that. And his fur's all funky looking, and yeah. And so the forest ranger comes and he takes a look at Bandit and he says, if I've ever seen a raccoon with rabies, that raccoon, this is it. And then he looks at me and goes, I'm sorry, son, there's nothing we can do for you. Yeah. He just told me I was going to die. Me, an 18-year-old, prime of my life, thinking I'm invincible. And he tells me I'm going to die. Because after you get past a certain point, after you get past like the first symptoms, I can't remember the exact things, there is nothing they can do. They used to actually take people out and strap them down because they go stark raving mad and they let them die out there staked to the ground. So yeah, he tells me I'm going to die. Well, my dad's a pastor, and he comes to me and goes, Daniel, are you right with God? And I honestly tell him, no, I wasn't right with God. And because I wasn't. I wanted to do the things I wanted to do. Also wanted to get right with God, but I also knew that if I got better, I still wanted to do the things I want to do. So here I am, I'm dying on my deathbed, I'm going to go straight to hell, and I know it. I'm going to split hell wide open. I'm not a good person. So, you know, cheating on my girlfriend, messing around, being a typical stupid teenager and destroying my own life. It's amazing how much we do not realize the consequences for our actions at that time in our life. And so my father, he goes into downstairs where we have our heater, our stove. He pulls out all the ashes and he throws them over himself and lays down and starts to cry out to God. He cries out from morning to night, 12, 13, 14 hours, begging God for my life. And what do you know? God healed me. He took away the rabies. He took away the rabies not just from me, but also from the raccoon and all those who probably were infected by it. Because they call back later and they say, we couldn't find a single thing wrong with this creature. And they were completely complex. 3 weeks later they call back and they're like, we don't know what happened, Pastor. There's nothing wrong with the raccoon, even though we know there was something wrong with this raccoon. They killed him, by the way. They shot him and to do the test. So Bandit's dead. But at that point, I didn't really much care because I was dying, and it was because of my little raccoon. I loved him, but he was going to cause death, not just to me, but to a lot of people. Because, like I said, I carried him around with me. And everyone had petted him. Hundreds of people had petted him. Mothers who pregnant women, they would have had to got injected with these big long needles, which would have most likely killed their babies. Because back there in that time, it was, I don't know what it is like now, but I know that they had to inject you directly in your stomach, and it causes tons of different things. So yeah, that's my story. I should be dead. And that's my testimony. I'm not dead. This is also a very good moral to the story too. I mean, for me it was my own sins, but also Bandit's like we invite stuff into our lives that we love, we nurse, and we cherish. But in the end, it's going to destroy us. And you better get that thing out of your life. You better follow the laws, God's laws of man. Some of those regulations are there. I know that a lot of them are crazy, but some of them regulations are there for your own health and benefit. And that's my story.